a few couples from season 6, episode 2 of Love After Lockup, and I'm so happy they finally gave us a new season because it feels like we've been on season 5 for like 3 or 4 years now. And it's just been so confusing. There's no need to do it that way, and no need for us to have 60 episodes in one season. So we are on season 6, and Joey decided to go see Michael's mother so he could go pick up Michael's phone for him when he gets out of prison, because that's one thing Michael's been adamant about. I want to make sure I have my phone first thing as soon as I get out. So Joey went to his mom's house. He gets Michael's phone. Poor Michael's mom, bless her heart, she's talking about how she cannot go another year with her son being in prison. She needs this to be the last time that he gets out. But she doesn't know what it's going to take to wake him up, because she's already tried everything she can think of before in the past. So she's sitting there explaining her concern to Joey. And Joey, since he's been on drugs before, he kind of has a better understanding of what needs to be done to actually achieve long-term sobriety. So he's like, you know what? We're going to take Michael's phone and we're going to wipe everything from his phone. You know what? Hats off to Joey. I think that is a great idea, because all his life he's been using since he was a teenager. So probably majority of the people on his phone are probably people that he's been using with. And the only people's numbers he really needs are Joey, his probation officer, his family. But if Joey's really serious about his sobriety, him not having his old contacts shouldn't be a big deal to him whatsoever. So Joey clears out his phone, factory reset it. But you know what? I was thinking the whole time he did this, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad he did this. But also, I don't know, with today's day and age, how much of a difference it's going to make. Because, like, I have a family member, for example, they've struggled with drug use. And it's just been so hard to get them sober, because even when they change their number and they've done this same exact thing before, I clear their contacts out of their phone, all you have to do is download Facebook. And if you know someone's name, all you got to do is search them. And with Facebook Messenger or IG, it's just so easy to get in contact with people within minutes nowadays. You don't need a lot of people's numbers anymore to get in touch with them. Especially if Michael had an existing Facebook before he went into prison. Yeah, his phone may be cleared out, but all he has to do is log into his Facebook, and I'm sure within seconds he can talk to a gang of people who know where to get drugs. And then also with today's day and age, with Google and Gmail and iPhones, like I know with my Gmail account, for example, all I have to do is get a new phone, log in with my Gmail account, and it will automatically download all my old pictures. I'll auto back up all my old contacts. So if he had his contacts backed up, then he can easily get all those contacts back. I'm surprised Joey didn't put a tracker on his phone too. So they clear out his phone, and then finally Joey packs up to go pick up Michael, and he's excited, but again he's nervous because he's scared to have sex with Michael for the first time sober. I can't wait till Michael actually gets out so we can hear about something else besides this all the time. So Joey goes to go pick up Michael. Of course, Michael runs late. It always seems like every inmate gets out late as hell compared to their actual release time. So finally, Michael comes walking out those prison gates. Joey kisses him. He feels like he's on cloud 9. Michael's all in a really good mood. He feels like Joey's the best he's ever got in life, and he just feels so incredibly lucky to have him. But I kind of almost feel like Michael is all talk, like he knows Joey's a good person, but he's not willing to do what it takes to keep Joey. Either that, or he knows he can get away with using, and Joey's either likely gonna turn his head or likely follow him and do the same exact thing because he's done it before in the past. And I think that can be very concerning, because it just seems like Joey is willing to follow and do whatever Michael does. So Michael immediately wanted his phone from Joey. Joey gave it to him, and as soon as Michael got his phone, he was scrolling through his contacts, because you could tell he was looking for someone's phone number to reach out to. That's all he was focused on, once he got that phone. You could tell there was only one thing on his mind. And as he's trying to scroll through his contacts, he realized he doesn't have any. And he's like, wait a minute, what happened to my phone? And Joey said, well, me and your mom decided to factory reset it. And as soon as Michael heard that, his whole demeanor changed. All of a sudden, he had an attitude with Joey. Joey went from being this nice, sweet man in Michael's eyes to being a wall between Michael and Michael's real true love, and that's drugs. Michael got all upset. He couldn't believe that Joey would actually have the audacity to clear out his contacts on his phone. And I was thinking just what Joey was thinking. Like, what is the big deal? Why do you need these contacts so bad? And even when Joey asked Michael that, Michael didn't have nothing to say. The only thing Michael could say is, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it regardless. Which that is just a major red flag. You haven't even been out of prison for 5 minutes and you're already talking about how you're going to do what you want to do. Then they took Michael off to the side for an interview. And Michael really didn't even introduce himself or anything. All Michael said was, yeah, you know, the first chance I can get and get away with it, I'm going to do it. And the producers were like, okay, what are you talking about? Michael said, I'm going to get high as soon as I get the chance. And I'm glad that he clarified that, because I feel like if he didn't, even if Joey would have seen this episode, he would have been like, well, you know, we don't know what he's talking about, trying to stand up for him. But Michael admitted straight out of his mouth that he wants to use, and that's pretty much all that's on his mind. And now I think that he's starting to look at things differently, because he knows that Joey's not going to let him get away with what he was hoping to get away with, and he's going to make things a lot harder for him. And I just am so disappointed, because I know that they could be a cute couple if Michael was sober and willing to take the steps to stay sober. But unfortunately, that just isn't who Michael is, at least at this stage in his life. And the fact that he's wanting to get high and that's all on his mind, like, he doesn't even care about going to a hotel room and banging Joey. Like, most people are worried about sex first thing out of prison or smoking a cigarette, but all he cares about is drugs, which that just tells me that he's been partying it up in prison and likely been spending the money that Joey's been sending him on drugs. At this point, Michael's been going to prison since he was 26 years old. He's now 40, and if he's still up to the same old stuff as soon as he gets out of prison, I'm starting to think that it's safe to say that Michael may be stuck in his ways. I mean, there's still hope for everybody, but I'm just saying, the older you get and the longer you do it, the harder it is to finally break that habit. I still have a hard time believing that Michael was faithful to Joey in prison, especially if he was using meth, because that's a drug that makes you very horny. So I just have a hard time. Like, I could see him doing whatever he needed to do to get himself a sack in prison. So I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Michael is going to end up using and then Joey's going to end up following right in his footsteps? Or do you think Joey's going to be able to be strong enough to say, hey, I don't want this, and walk away from Michael? I'm honestly shocked with Joey being a former drug user that he wasn't able to pick up on the fact that Michael appeared to be using when he went to go visit him all these times in prison, because I could definitely pick up on his mannerisms, like in his eyes and the way he was moving fresh out of prison, that something was definitely off. With everything Joey has going for him, I just can't understand his decision to be with Michael. I think he just sees in Michael like, hey, I used to be a drug user. I was able to move past that, so I want to be there for Michael because I was there once upon a time. But I also feel like he may like the feeling of being needed, or feeling like he's in that rescuer role. Like a person who's sober, they might feel like they need to help or rescue somebody who's using, and that may stem from a codependency issue or a desire to feel needed and important. Or maybe he just thinks that normal relationships are boring, especially after everything he's been through in the past. Or it could be that he just feels isolated and lonely. And that's the thing a lot of people in recovery go through. I go through it a lot because I was on drugs for so many years. Once I finally got sober, I didn't really have any friends that were sober. And I think that could be a big thing with Joey, because recovery can be isolating. So a lot of people will distance themselves from old using buddies, but a connection with someone, even if that connection is unhealthy, might be better than being alone for some people. I just feel like so many people make that mistake where they feel like, oh, you know, so and so is still using drugs or still in and out of prison because they've never had a stable person for them in their life. So they feel like, oh, as long as I'm a good, sober, stable person for this person, then they'll have a chance at life. But at the end of the day, Mike was a grown ass adult, and like he said, if he wants to use, he's going to continue to use. And he has shown time and time again, even the love of his mother isn't enough for him to get sober. So I don't think the love of Joey obviously is either, and he's showed that day one. But that is it for this video, guys. I was going to try to talk about a few other couples, but I ended up talking about this a little longer than I planned. So stay tuned for my next video, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.